Hi, I'm Kathy Scholl-Gerdes, the Health Behavior Coordinator at the Minneapolis VA Healthcare System. Welcome to Class 3 entitled Learning the Basics. In this module, we will cover tobacco use is a habit, why a habit can be difficult to overcome. Tobacco use is also an addiction. Coping with withdrawal, recognizing and addressing triggers, healthy eating without gaining weight, what to do on quit day. Let's start by talking about habits. I'm sure you already recognize that using tobacco is a habit. Habits are repeated behaviors that you do without thinking about them. They are actions that become almost second nature as you move throughout your day. You may be wondering, what makes it so difficult to overcome a habit? In Class 1, we discussed that tobacco use is associated with some behaviors that include learned behavior, meaning that we learn tobacco use from someone or from messages in the media. These are powerful messages that stay with us over time. We also discussed triggered behavior, which involves activities or certain times of the day that make people want to use tobacco. Another reason that makes it difficult to quit is automatic behavior. Automatic behavior is a repeated pattern of taking puff after puff on a cigarette or chewing multiple times a day. If a person smokes 1 pack of cigarettes a day and each cigarette takes 10 puffs, and if you have 20 cigarettes a day, that's 200 puffs a day. If someone smoked for 40 years, that would be about 3 million puffs. That type of repetition is difficult to break away from. We talked about habits, but tobacco use is also an addiction. Nicotine is the addictive part of the tobacco you use. Nicotine is a natural substance that causes a number of positive feelings, and it is one of the most addictive substances we know of. That's another reason why it's difficult to stop using tobacco. Tobacco products contain many other substances, and some of the more harmful chemicals include carbon monoxide, hydrogen cyanide, ammonia, lead, arsenic, and others. You will find more information about nicotine addiction on pages 6 through 7 in the workbook. Because nicotine is so addictive, withdrawal is a part of the process of quitting. As the level of nicotine in your body begins to drop, you will feel a need for tobacco. This is difficult, but you can cope. You may notice that as you go for longer periods of time between your tobacco use, you will feel anxious, irritable, restless, depressed, and other symptoms. You can review on page 6 in the workbook. So how do you cope with these withdrawal symptoms? Page 7 in your workbook gives some great strategies to help. If you feel irritable, practice relaxation. Depressed? Get family support. Have difficulty concentrating? Plan your work. Are you hungry? Drink more water. If you have a cough, use cough drops or candy. Which of these will you try? If you have the opportunity, you may want to view the YouTube video, Kicking the Tobacco Habit, by U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. A link is provided in the information you received. This will give you some additional support as you address the addictive part of your tobacco use. An important part of the process of quitting tobacco is learning to cope with and address the reasons that trigger your use of tobacco. Hopefully you completed the Why I Use Tobacco test that was described in video 1. If not, you can return to video 1 for information on taking this test. Once you've scored your test, you will find your top 1 or 2 reasons that trigger you to use tobacco. On page 2 of that test, you'll find tips to help you address these reasons. So, for example, your reason may be, it's a stimulant, it gets me going. Instead, get rest, exercise, or just get busy. If you need nicotine, use patches, gum, or lozenges. If it's pleasure, remind yourself of some of the benefits of quitting. If it's a habit, change your tobacco routines. If your reason is stress, talk to a friend, take a walk, or listen to music. And if it's because you need to handle something, start a hobby or do something to keep your hands busy. For a complete list of tips, please pause the video and review page 2 of your Why I Use Tobacco test. Now let's focus for a few minutes on eating habits and quitting. Some people worry about gaining weight once they quit smoking. You will notice changes as you quit. Your senses reawaken. Both your sense of smell and taste return. For some, this means they may overeat and focus more on food than they did in the past. But you don't have to see your weight increase or other negative patterns begin. Instead, you can focus on healthy eating habits during the process of quitting and see improved health in other areas of your life. Food can provide some simple pleasures, so here are some helpful tips. Focus on the flavors of your food instead of smoking. Chew food, noticing the enjoyment of chewing rather than needing to put a cigarette in your mouth. Enjoy 3 meals a day rather than becoming hungry and giving into that urge to smoke. Eat healthy snacks like raw veggies. Crunchy foods can help with cravings, such as pretzels, popcorn, rice cakes, or sunflower seeds. Drink more water, which will help you feel full and reduce weight gain. We've covered some important basics. We talked about tobacco use as a habit and an addiction. We reviewed strategies for coping with withdrawal, as well as dealing with reasons that trigger use. We reviewed steps to help with enjoying food, healthy eating, and not gaining weight. Finally, let's focus briefly on what to do on quit day. Have you set a quit date? Planning your quit day is important, and there's an entire video focusing on your plan for quitting. That video can be reviewed at any point throughout the course, and we encourage you to view it often. As you think about your quit day, review page 18 in the workbook. You can consider these helpful tips and add them to your plan. Here are some tips from the workbook. You can make changes in the things you do each day, such as changing your routine, using a new coffee mug, driving to work on a different route. You can plan to stay busy by meeting with friends, enjoying a movie, or going for a walk or to the gym. And remember, there will be things you don't want to do on your quit day, such as feeling deprived, thinking you can try just one cigarette, or forgetting your nicotine patches or gum. You have just completed Class 3. Thank you for taking time to review some of the tobacco cessation basics. At the VA, we are committed to your success. The next class will talk about how stress affects all of us, and will provide some strategies for successfully managing stress so you can continue to move forward on your journey to be tobacco-free.